Dark fantasy is without question my favourite genre in manga. It's a massive genre that has created some of the greatest stories in manga, like Berserk and Tokyo Ghoul. It's a gripping genre that always keeps you on your toes because no one is genuinely safe like other genres. Everyone can die and the tragedy that follows them is engaging for a lot of readers. Plus, fantasy magic can be used in all sorts of fun and terrifying ways. In today's video, I will be talking about a newer dark fantasy manga that I'm enjoying a lot. The Record of Highserk War is a dark fantasy military manga that, yes, is an isekai, but not at all like the slop that has become popular. It is very bleak and follows a main character who has become a soldier to provide for his family, and the group of soldiers he works with as they fight in the Highserk army. In this video, I will be spoiling the story, mainly talking about the first chapter and the main character's story. After, I will go in depth on the main character's journey, then I will finish off by talking about the art. If you don't want spoilers, click off now, but if you don't mind spoilers or have already read this story, then please enjoy the video. What do you wish for with those murky eyes? And we get our first look at the main character, Walm. Walm attacks someone with a halberd and we can see he is at war. We cut to the end of the battle as they find an enemy soldier half dead. Walm tells the soldiers to get out of his way and he finishes him off. Oddly, we cut to modern times and we see a TV warning about the weather and the possibility of heat stroke. The man in the panel is Takakura Raizo and he gets ready for work. But as he leaves, his chest gets tight and the man I assume died of a heart attack, but he gets a second chance at life as Walm. We see him holding his hands together, praying for the dead, and his squad mate tells him he's doing it again. Walm mentions it's a habit to the man, whose name is Jose. They go to regroup with the rest of the soldiers. Jose praises Walm for killing 9 enemies, and Walm responds that it's nothing to be proud of and he was just doing his job as a soldier. Later that night, while Walm is eating, the commander comes up and praises him for his 9 kills, but gloats about his 15. He says that it's because he has a skill. Another soldier adds that having magic is one thing, but a skill is just a cheat. One of the rookie soldiers asks the commander if his warhammer can really break through all kinds of armor. We learn the difference between skills and magic. Magic is like a power that only exists in dreams, while skills are like superhuman abilities, and the commander has a powerful skill, and we see what his hammer can do to the body. Jose asks if Walm wants one, and he says only if it's free. Walm mentions that magic is a nice thing to dream about using, and the group gets all excited because Walm never mentions anything about dreams or anything remotely fun. The commander then tells the group that from tomorrow on they will be fighting a lot of battles against the region of Myard. We get a basic rundown of their objective, and Walm doesn't look pleased with the news. They arrive at Saria City, which is where the Highserk army is meeting. Beggars approach Walm and the other soldiers travelling through the city. Walm gives one of the beggars money, and Jose warns that he will probably get swarmed by more beggars looking for money. Walm knows too well what it's like to go hungry, as his family could barely survive farming before he became a soldier. In the evening, the soldiers eat in a tavern and enjoy getting to eat a full meal for the first time since the war begun. Walm begins feeling ill, and Jose tells the commander that he is always like this the night before a battle. We see Walm slumped down and anxious about tomorrow, but also struggling with the fact he kills people no different than him. The morning comes and all the soldiers are rallied and excited for the battle, except for Walm, who is looking anxious, but understands it's kill or be killed. Walm's group is tasked with attacking a castle. The battle begins and the soldiers get ready to head out. We cut to the soldiers slowly moving towards the castle while they withstand a barrage of arrows. They hurry to the wall and are met by large pools of water hitting them from a magic user above. The commander kills the magic user with a spear. They begin climbing ladders up the wall and Walm tells Noor, one of the rookie soldiers, to stay behind him. Walm arrives at the top of the wall and quickly begins taking out multiple soldiers. Walm notices Noor is pinned down by an elite knight. Walm throws his shield to get their attention and they square off at the top of the wall. The fight begins and Walm is quickly put on the back foot by the knight's speed and power. Usually the commander would take on these enemies, but he's being delayed, so Walm is going to have to take out the knight solo. Walm continues to attack the knight and the knight begins to struggle with each of them trading blows. The knight doesn't understand why his axe didn't penetrate his eye. Walm has a magical barrier around him, increasing his power and speed. He puts it to good use, cutting through the knight's shield and arm. The knight notices that Walm is laughing while attacking him. Walm defeats the knight and the remaining ally soldiers make their way onto the wall. Walm finally realizes that he has developed a skill and begins tearing through dozens of enemies. The commander is impressed and tells Walm to get some rest and they will finish the mission. The rookie thanks Walm for saving her life and he goes to rest. The last shot of the first chapter is Walm resting surrounded by blood on the wall. That concludes the first chapter, and I loved it. I enjoyed the gritty and bleak tone of the series, as well as the introduction of skills and magic. I also liked Walm and his comrades, and was excited to read more and see where their story went. In the next 2 parts, I will be looking more at Walm's story and the art, so if you don't want any more spoilers, click off now, but if you don't mind, then let's continue. Walm is an interesting character, and the 2 parts of his character I enjoyed watching the most was his powers and how they are viewed in the world, and his moral dilemma with killing. So that's what I'll be talking about in this part, and first I will start off with his powers. Willart the Mage explains the difference between skills and magic to Walm, and basically it's just different applications of magic. A skill is a magical power being used to strengthen your body, while magic is manipulating an element such as fire or water. Willart wants to see if Walm has an aptitude for magic as well as skills. First he gets Walm to try and use water magic. Walm visualizes water and creates a small pool in his hand. Willart tells him that it's no good. Next, Willart wants to try and test Walm's aptitude for fire magic. Walm focuses on producing a flame, and Willart gets distracted by 2 soldiers playing in the lake. He looks back, and Walm has created a massive flame that even convinces some soldiers that they are under attack. Willart quickly creates a large pool of water and douses Walm, quickly stopping his fire. And this is pretty rare for someone to be able to use a skill and fire, but Walm is even more special than that. Now in their next battle, the Highserk army must fight against the allied forces of Maillard and Farius. They must successfully take the hill and kill the leader of the allied forces. And I just want to say, I love this shot. I don't know why. Walm and the other soldiers just look badass looking at the enemy. Walm uses his new power, throwing a fireball as they charge the hill. But as they get close to the top, they are halted by a royal guard who easily kills dozens of Highserk soldiers. Walm fights the royal guard, and despite using his skill, he is overpowered. He's launched into the air and falls, injuring himself. Walm looks up and says he's going to burn him down. Blue flames erupt around him as he stands. The royal guard lunges at him with his blade inches from his face. Even more blue flames erupt around Walm, pushing the royal guard back and killing him. The leader of the allied forces sees the blue flames and remembers being told, if you see blue flames on the battlefield, that's the bonfire to the netherworld. If ever invited, death is waiting for you. It's called Ignis Fatuus, and we see the battlefield scorched by Walm with dead soldiers surrounding him. It resembles the gates of hell, and Walm stares down the leader. I'm not going to spoil what happens next, but watching Walm use his new powers was always amazing to read. Now I'm going to talk about how Walm copes with the world he lives in now. The world is bleak and dark. Walm tells the rookies that when he wasn't used to this, it's because of these people that dozens of their allies died. The forest people gave the enemy information. Because of this, they get ambushed in the forest. Walm runs into a young girl, and despite her timidness and age, he goes to kill her regardless. He takes out one of her allies and kills them without a shred of guilt. The girl asks how he can kill someone so easily. I'm sure you've killed your fair share of people, Walm responds and launches his halberd at her. He clashes with another soldier and asks why although they kill so much, why don't they think they can die themselves? He overpowers the soldier and kills him. He notices that the girl actually isn't used to killing and is jealous. Despite his cold demeanour, he does struggle with killing and feels immense guilt for what he has done. However, later in the series, he gets gifted a mask that was used by otherworlders, and the mask when he wears it helps him disassociate and become just a soldier. However, after he takes it off, the memories of what he's done begin to weigh on him more. It is interesting watching him push himself mentally, and I won't spoil, but something happens later in the story that pushes him completely past the edge of rationality, and it was very exciting to read. Honestly, I don't have much to say about the art. It's a rougher style that I think suits the dark tones of the series well. The character designs are never too much and are nice and simple. The clothing, especially the knight armor, is cool to see. The fight scenes are very well done, especially the double spreads, and we sometimes get visuals that reference things only Walm would know, like when he is fighting 3 enemies at once. He feels like he is fighting around landmines and that one mistake will be the end of him. Record of Highserk War is a manga I think any dark fantasy fan would like. It's bleak and action fueled, plus Walm is an enjoyable character to follow. I hope in this video I've convinced some of you to try this manga, and I promise I haven't mentioned all of the exciting events and characters we meet in this story. Okay, that's it from me. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!